Last week, Rachel gave you a list of long books. This week, I'm giving you a list of short ones. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes during NaNo and Camp NaNo, when I'm writing a lot, I get a little bit burnt out and need a quick break. And what better way to take a break than with a book? Of course, it being NaNo, none of us really have a lot of time to read, so I am usually pretty strict with the criteria for what I read during the month of November. I have 3 things that I use to choose books. The first criteria is that it has to be pretty short. I love long fantasy novels, but I just don't really have the time to invest in them during NaNo, and they're too much of a distraction. So all of the books that I'm going to recommend to you today are under 320 pages. The second thing that I consider is that I try to avoid series. I try to only read standalone books. Like with long novels, I don't have the time to invest in a series, and I know that if I really love the first book, then I'm going to want to go pick up the second book and the third, and then there goes my whole month and all of my word count. Third thing, because I'm spending so much time writing during NaNo, when I read, I try to find something that's very different from my work in progress. I always try to find books that are a different genre. Of course, I have no idea what all of you are writing this month, so for my recommendations today, I tried to pick a good variety so that hopefully you can find something that will fit that third criteria for you. First recommendation is a book that I finished right at the end of October before NaNo started, and that is The Call by Peter O'Gillen. And you guys, it's so good. I'm not even quite sure how to describe it to you. It's basically Ireland, but kind of dystopian, and there are these exiled fairies who are getting their revenge on the humans. Basically, every teenager in Ireland at some point before they turn 18 disappears for 3 minutes, and only 1 in 10 of them come back alive. It's dark, it's gory, it's different from pretty much everything that I have ever read. The world is so intricate and interesting. You should definitely pick it up if you are in the mood for something very dark and filled with horror. It's like Hunger Games, if every kid had to go through it, and instead of killing each other, they were being killed by these sadistic, twisted, dark fairies. The second book is Written in the Stars by Aisha Saeed. This book is under 300 words. I think it's around 275-ish. Very quick read. I read it in one night. It is about a Pakistani American girl who is allowed a lot of freedom by her parents, except for when it comes to dating and who she's going to marry. Her parents find out that she has a secret boyfriend and take her back to Pakistan for the summer so she can reconnect with her roots, but the vacation turns into a nightmare when she is forced into a marriage. It is a very important book. It's a good look at the reality of forced marriages and how they are different from consensual arranged marriages. It's very good. It has lots of hope, but it's also very painful at times. And like I said, very quick read. Because it is Native American History Month, and because in the US right now there are some pretty terrible, awful things happening with regards to Native Americans at this moment, and because nonfiction is probably pretty different from whatever you are writing, I am recommending Urban Tribes by Lisa Charlieboy. Most of us, when we think of Native Americans, we think of reservations, but Urban Tribes is actually about natives who, like it sounds like, live in urban areas. It's an anthology of essays and poems and artwork, all forms of media written by and or about native people who live in cities. I highly recommend this book. I learned a lot from it, and it's also very short, 136 pages. A lot of those pages don't have a lot of words on them, and because it's all separate essays and things like that, it's something that you can pick up and read for a few minutes and then put it down until the next time you need a reading break. If you're looking for something historical that won't take up a lot of your time, you should pick up A Tyranny of Petticoats, edited by Jessica Spotswood. It's an anthology of stories about girls throughout US history, all in different decades. There's a lot of diversity in it, both in the characters and the writers, and the stories are all so good, and because they're all short stories, none of them will take you very long to read. And of course, you should definitely consider reading Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour this month, because that is our book club for next month. I am planning on reading it during NaNo because it's only 312 pages, so I don't expect it to take me very long, so it's definitely one of my reading break books for this month. Speaking of live chats and book clubs, don't forget to join us this Sunday at 7:30 Eastern Time for our live write-in. That is what we will be doing every Sunday this month, so we can't wait to see you there.